Alpha Golf. Stroke AG. You won't get sick.
Well, hopefully it'll be a good presentation.
Give me a joke.
I can't believe here for real.
You ask a BE, you know, I don't know.
It should be straight.
That's still hurts. Congratulations.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Way to go.
Thanks, man.
April Fool.
I did that.
Look, I'm within striking distance of him.
I'm gonna take every antenna in this place, man.
I did it from over there.
This is multiple, you know, this is multiple copies. So press down real hard.
We'll go home and take a nap after a shot of whiskey.
If I were to take up that, then I could afford it.
You know, I listen to podcasts all the time as I'm doing the extra exams. And sometimes I'm just go, and sometimes those questions come. And it's stuff that
You tried.
I'll try to go back and study it. Because I've got to go back and relearn the stuff that I don't have. So I get through that pretty good.
Hey, Tom. How you doing, buddy? I'm like,
Stop. So you passed the joke. I thought.
Oh, yeah.
it's supposed to change from, you know, what you start learning on.
Yep. I said that for 4 years. I've been working.
That'll give you a free antenna to pass the test.
do you ever get on that walker?
No, I haven't. I haven't been on any of it. I'm still translating check for each on YouTube. Make sure one of those things working.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, it's in galvanic principle.
Let's see if I can read it.
Your life just got real expensive.
I got a wipe it if it works. Well, I'm a smart person.
Yeah. Because I need to finish paperwork. When you watch this, sweetheart, what's your Christmas? Here's my ham radio list. That's right. Here's my gear list. Where's this paperwork? You mean, Ed? There you go, there you go. That's right. Congratulations. Scan this. So. Oh. Oh, he was serious. Yeah. You're welcome. All right, now this is the scary part. Yeah, that's, and it's not, because since he's under 18, he's only going to pay $5. So I gotta make sure that the people that AWRL knows that that's why I've got don't have $75. Well, yeah.
So how old are you? That's a hobby you can do all your life. Y'all say for me?
How long did you get it? How long did you get it? That I had. Yeah. Well, I just, yeah, I've done a bunch of sessions, but usually what sessions? Sessions, but I would say they do a good deal.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
So it just sounds like it's-
Oh, that's rolling. Oh, this is yours. It's not yours.
I didn't bring the look at.
Did you test?
Well, donut, brownie.
I'm sorry.
Donut, brownie.
We got donuts?
Donut and brownie.
Donuts and brownies? I'm glad you didn't tell me that before.
I didn't know if I had a brownie on it. I feel prepared just in case.
Usually I say, it's $15 a test, unless you want one, just gonna get it too fast, and it's 30.
Being there, showing up, took me there. Okay. Well, our areas right now, I'm trying to get some stuff going, like some east, coax. And then get into, once you get to that point, then you get into the general course, and then you get bar, PTP, HF. You can do one link on Tilden. You can do that. It's just learning some stuff, knowing that I'm in the process of going through the meetings now. They're redoing the Clark County emergency operations. And primary is Clark County 911. Then EPA. So, like winter storm, you'll see here. Doing some, yeah, that's long. Yes. But coming around and doing that stuff and then meeting, being able to get out and know, this is the chief of officer, he does things a certain way. Knowing how to operate and coordinate and just get along with other agencies. Right. That's the sort of police department. We got a fire department. We got roads. Yeah. Now we're at PD and Al works with us. He's looking at all the cops. Clark County. Him working with us. We share programs. So I just about got him convinced for summer field day on Saturday. So he had never seen it. Constantly looking for folks to help the hospital. You don't have to jump in. It's interesting. 7 weeks. There's not a lot of them. And the scheduling is probably the hardest.
I didn't hear you.
But that's why we try to keep the club sort of set. And so it's fun. It's like I was fixing to start off in areas and that's local. The next step after see what it's supposed to be. Certified, certain. The good part about our group is club. We have 2 girls. And that's showing up in one of the doors about two set up there. But it's good stuff to know how things your communication is a good thing about it. You actually follow logistics. But their operational is so George,
Oh, this is the reason I limit myself to these. The reason I limit myself to these very, very few.
That's in the
My wife loves
Did you call your wife in?
She was just about to do this. I
upgrade the line so I could at least say, notice I did that as I walked away.
But yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, we need to have,
Oh, I see that for
it's just,
Get one.
my mother was in the hospital.
That's the story of my life in the day.
She did a foot last year, but she's back.
She doing a lot better?
No,
Thanks, sir. What's the price?
98. But she's hanging in there.
Who is in charge of membership? I'm the one that gave wrong information.
You already got it broadcasted, yes? Yeah.
Another guy won't look at it. I want to make sure I got mine. When I actually hit the recruiter.
These are people who passed time. They get it from membership.
I like it better because that's what I'm getting about. I'm familiar with it. I've used this a long time.
I wish I had done it.
I think the spots.
Well, that's nice. You put in athletic association.
That's why I was not good at this. Live on the do. Still can't.
Well, not on that. What happened to you? Who's the official one?
Shady out there.
You used it before? What's the NCC?
Software issues or hardware? No, I haven't had well I never used that.
I didn't want anything from
I've used the shortcuts in our. The tricky part is.
I'll take donation.
How's your little girl doing?
It's a little bit more.
Isn't it amazing how you looked at that all that time goes by?
I was telling a coworker of mine yesterday, he planned on going to, I'm assuming his son, to school, going to be in a visiting school, going to the school lunch. And he looked down at his watch, and said, "Oh, that's distant." Go to the back of the church. I don't know what they were doing over there. It was like yesterday, I was up here, things over there, I go with her, and now she driving in at raid on Saturday afternoon, going to, all games on Sunday, driving back on Sunday night, getting back to the state, getting lost some Sunday shit. Judge yesterday, I'll take a chicken away from her. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. Thank you. Take your vacation first year of college. We just dropped her off in 30 minutes.
Tell me again what she's studying.
Likewise, Jim's been, she wants to go into some. sporting house. Just signed up. Waiting to hear back on crashing the car.
Wait, what?
She'd been on the school for a week. She had her driver's license for 2 weeks. Rear-ended something. Stop and go traffic, minimal damage, everybody was fine. 2 weeks ago, turning right.
That's the thing about it.
Somebody stopped in the center lane. She didn't see this car coming. Failure to yield. Everybody's fine. The damage was supposed to be. I did. Got one of them cut. Well, he had down to carry the plantation. I went out there and unplugged it, plugged it back in, and I noticed the battery was dropping real fast. And I did my connectors. I've got so I can easily disconnect it in case the battery goes dead. They're just as green as James.
There you go.
But I was surprised at the number that didn't even make the first the ones that did make it. I don't know.
We're in a hole.
I do FL rig to get FL. I use FL rig to feed the TNC to the radio, then FL digits next to put FL rig on it. Start FL rig, you can make it automatically start FL.
He sent me things on the settings and the radio. But the interesting thing, I saved all my settings. Because what rate do you use?
94, I was using the same kind of word that I use FL rig, install FL rig, use that as your TNC, and then you can have this automatic drop. It's not super intuitive to figure out how to hold it together, but you need to have
What I was trying to do is using a laptop. Nothing wrong with that, but
so when I go to do
Not too bad. I did after a couple miles.
a few years ago,
I ended up having walking the hills. I probably had a, normally I'm long over on Sunday. I've got all day, I go to the gym on Friday, so I've got Saturday, Friday, and Monday, Saturday. I did, I ran on Saturday. Could have been
I'm not sure I processed that. Say that again. Maybe enough on the way up there that they can change it. My overbid.
Well, it is almost 7:30, so we'll get started with this. All right. Everybody signed in the sheet with Derek. If you haven't, make sure you sign in or you get fined. All right. Program tonight, we're going to review a little bit. A couple of weeks ago, a bunch of us showed up at Watson Mill Bridge Park. Tuned some antennas, burned some hot dogs, tried to recook some hamburgers with the grill top too far off. So Kevin come up with a way to do it. But we had a good time. Had some of the students that's taken Bill's hand class from Elberton show up, and they had a blast running out there trimming antennas. So, but I'm gonna let Jess sort of do this since he's antenna master, nominated, voted on, approved. So we'll give it to Jess. Oh. I got you off the hook.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah. I thought I was going to get lit up.
What'd you touch up there, Philip?
I didn't touch nothing.
See if we can get all the TVs turned back on so everybody can see.
Well, after Jess gets all that back up and running, after we just sort of do a quick review of what we did out at the park, if you got any questions, then we'll get into the regular, see what everybody's been doing the past month, and then cover a couple of odd things, and then we got a giveaway before everybody leaves out tonight.
Did everybody get a ticket? A door prize ticket? Sorry, he made me sign my name.
Yeah, make sure you got a name. We got, we're going to give away a little nano DNA that Mark donated. And then we've got an antenna back there already set. All you got to do is hook it up and tune it, and then you'll have you a dipole. So, Jess, all yours, buddy.
All right. Like Philip said, I'm Jess, N4JAH for the few of you in here who I may not have met. Past president for 3 years, and now I feel like I'm the designated presenter every month. I think this is 3 months in a row I've been up here, so I'm sure most of you are probably tired of hearing me. And we're all fixing to see this. I have seen this once, and it was just when Philip sent it this morning. It was like, how does this look? I was like, fine. So we're going to learn all about this all together. But like Philip said, 2 weeks ago, let's see what this first slide is. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, March 15th, we all met out at Watson's Mill. Had some delicious hamburgers, way too many donuts. Not common for me to say that. And a good time, and we did, somebody screwed up and forgot to took the wrong antenna out there. But at the end of the day, we ended up with an 80 meter, a 20 meter, and a 10 meter antenna that were cut several months ago, and then we finally all got together and trimmed them. so they would be resonant antennas so that our tuner in the radio wouldn't have to clean them up. And hopefully now all of our power out of the radio will be going resonating through those antennas instead of getting eaten up in a tuner. And what looked like a bundle of blue wire is going to end up being something that's going to be useful for the club. We went out there. The club's got a couple of fiberglass masts. We put the fiberglass mast up, hung the antennas from them, strung them out, and I couldn't remember. I know nothing about antenna theory. Let me start there. All I know is that there is a calculator on my phone that tells me that if you want to make a 20-meter dipole, this is how long your wire needs to be, and cut it in the middle. So I always cut my antennas long. I cut them extra long this time because I didn't want us to come up short, and I didn't write down how long I had cut them. Now, you can do some back calculation math. We could have looked at our dip, see where the resonant frequency was, and back calculated exactly how long it was, but that's too easy, and we didn't want to cheat. And we fortunately had a couple of young kids out there that did not mind running back and forth with a pair of wire cutters and trimming them 1.5 inches, 2 inches. I think at one point we were taking 6 inches off at a time on that 80-meter antenna. And ended up, I think we did the math, and those antennas on each leg were about 7 or 8 feet too long on each leg.
Wow.
Yeah. We figured there was enough cut off of that 80-meter antenna that we probably could have made at least a 6-meter antenna, if not a 10-meter antenna. But again, we had a good time, and it's fun. You can see the Nano VNA here. Had a good time, and you could watch that dip, laser pointer or something. You could watch that dip start over here on the left-hand side of the screen, and you could take a little bit of cut off of it, and you could slowly see that dip move to the right, which is what we were looking for based on the scope that we had set up on the VNA to see where our resonant, or to see where that antenna was resonant. And the VNA and the Rig Expert would both do basically the same thing. They would show you an SWR at a given frequency. I'm a fan of the VNA. This Rig Expert's just too fancy for me. With the VNA, I'm more accustomed to using it and knew what I was looking at on there. But we were going back and forth. We'd put the VNA in there, get an SWR reading, and then to confirm, we'd put the Rig Expert in there and vice versa to make sure that one of them wasn't lying to us. And I mentioned there is math that you can do, or you can cheat and use a app on your phone. But to get you started, number 468, Claude's got a whole other presentation on here on how to get to 234. But you can, and I guess that's for half the length. I guess that's where the two, yeah. But for here, we were cutting half-wave antennas. And so you take 468 and divide that by the frequency that you want your antenna to be resonant at, and that will give you the length of your antenna. And then if you're making a dipole, just cut that in the middle, and you should be good to go. But when you're cutting an antenna, a wire antenna, is always cut it long. It's easier to cut than it is to add the wire back. I was talking with Claude on the way here today that you can put the wire back, right? You can solder it on there. You can put you for $1.70 from AliExpress. You can get a whole bunch of shrink tubing.
Are you getting the
You're going to be on there. You're going to get something. And we're going to get you on Slack too, Chris. But you can go back there, solder a piece of wire back on there, put a piece of shrink tubing on it, and most people aren't going to know it. I would. Every time I ran that antenna up, every time I keyed that antenna up, I would know my antenna wasn't perfect, and it would make me cry. So it's a lot easier to make cuts than it is to put the wire back on there. I don't think we have. That's not what. So the Nano VNA, you can calibrate it for whatever frequency range you want. So we started at 1 megahertz and went all the way up to 30 megahertz, the entire amateur band. And you hook up a 20-meter antenna on it, and you'll see a dip. Hopefully it's somewhere in the 14 megahertz range, hopefully a little south of it. Yeah.
Can you, some of us may not know what a Nano VNA is supposed to be do.
It's a thing,
I know it's a thing.
and you get it on AliExpress for about $20. So I've got one. I'll pass it around. So
So a VNA is a vector network analyzer, and it's a little bitty one, so it's a nano.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what it is, and it'll do a lot of stuff.
So we'll pass it around, or I'll pass it around, and I'm keeping an eye to see who steals it. But it is a vector network analyzer, and what we mainly use it for, I use it for, is to determine your SWR, your standing wave ratio, and that is a measurement of efficiency of your antenna. Again, everything I learned on YouTube University. And the lower your SWR, can't say that because the SWR on a dummy load is going to read perfect. One of the factors that goes into telling you how efficient your antenna is. How about that? And I don't think, we're not going to be able to see anything good on here.
So it's going to graph the SWR across a frequency spectrum, and you can see
That I
where
have
the
programmed
antenna is
into it.
most resonant.
Yep.
$20 and get it.
You can get started for 35.
And you pay an extra $5 on Alley, it'll come with an instruction manual.
You gotta pay yourself.
Can you read it?
I do not make money from AliExpress. This is just a joke. Don't anybody get mad. So I've got my Nano VNA program, so I can look at the entire band scope for amateur radio. And if I'm tuning just a single band antenna, I'm going to use the 20 meter antenna here. With any luck, I'm going to see a dip across that scope, and then I've got it also calibrated so that I can hone in on 13.5 to 14.5 megahertz, so I can really focus in on that dip. And as I trim it, I should see that dip moving to the right, up in frequency. The shorter the wire, the higher the frequency. Yes. The higher the frequency, the shorter the wire. And here, we'll go ahead and start passing on. And so we were working on a 20 meter antenna. Half wave, 20 meters is 60 feet. Half wave should be somewhere in the range of 30 feet. You do the math. So we start snipping, and one thing, if you're tuning a dipole antenna, trimming a dipole antenna, is you've got two ends of it, right? And you've got your feed point in the middle. Is if you go over here and you cut 2 inches off on the left leg, make sure you go and cut the equal distance off on the right leg, or you're going to end up with off center fed dipole. You'll end up with one length longer than the other. Then you're going to need a balun in the middle to. It's going to change your impedance, and you're going to need a type of balun or an unun in the middle. I think
Transformer.
a transformer. There we go. That's a better answer. A transformer to match the impedance that your antenna is now going to present to your radio. But a well-tuned dipole antenna should have an impedance of 50 ohms, which is what your radio is looking for. And you don't need a transformer to help take any of that out. And again, with the 80 meter antenna, I'm always scared I'm going to cut them too short. So we started making shortcuts, and just ever so slowly, that dip is moving across that VNA. And I think I ended up walking about 4.5 miles just trying to tune this one antenna before we finally told these kids, they're like, yeah, y'all go cut it. So these two younger gentlemen went out there and did a lot of the tuning on that. And then as the antennas got shorter, the 20 meter antenna and the 10 meter antenna, there wasn't near as much walking, so it was a little bit easier. Again, like Philip said, there's a lot of this, a lot of standing around and do nothings.
They were supervising.
And then you had, we all were out there, everybody looking and learning. And yeah, here we are. Here are the two young men that were out there helping us. Ralph, KB3 IPT. If you ever need anything, Ralph is going to have it in the back of his truck, and it is well organized. That I was impressed. Was it a van? What was he driving? was it Tahoe? He opened the back hatch of whatever it was, and there's just, I mean, it looked like a Radio Shack in the back of that thing. Like a Radio Shack, and then he had a Radio Shack catalog telling you which row and how deep in the back. I mean, it was impressive. And here we are. First off, congratulations on getting your amateur extra tonight, and for introducing me to some of the best hamburgers I've ever had. So we finally got done trimming these antennas, and the hot dogs were not burnt. They were delicious, but they were lessened in value because of these hamburgers. Then I got a hold of some barbecue. I wished I'd have found them both at the same time. I think that barbecue on top of that hamburger would have just blown my mind. So I think that's it. Yeah, okay. So,
Okay, wait, back up. Who brought the barbecue?
Chris.
Did you make it yourself?
Yeah, whole board. But not
See what you missed?
Don't talk.
Just make it.
I feel better already. Okay, thank you. Continue.
I don't have anything else. Y'all keep going at it. So, let's see. So, right now, talking about dipoles, they are one of the easier antennas to build. One of my favorite, especially being out doing POTA, is an end-fed half-wave. Same basic theory. I mean, it's still a half-wave piece of wire. The length with a half-wave on 40 meters, that one antenna will get you 40 meters, 20 meters, 10 meters, and if you leave it the right length, it'll get you 15 meters with a little bit of tuning from your radio. But same basic concept. You are going to have a matching unit, a transformer. For it to be a true end-fed half-wave, is going to be a 49-to-1 unbalanced and unbalanced. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to connect the wire to the and you're going to go out there and hopefully the wire is too long, and you're going to keep trimming it back and keep an eye. And that's where the nano comes in, because you can set your frequency range. With an end-fed half-wave, you'll see a couple of different dips. And as you trim it, with any luck, those dips are going to move into, 7.2 megahertz, 21.3 megahertz, 14.42 megahertz, and 28.5 megahertz. So those dips, as you keep cutting off, to come in line so that you've got an antenna that you can operate without having to do anything. But again, we ended up with 3 single band dipole antennas. And at N1D, for those of you who were too lazy to come out on March the 15th, when you come out on April 26th, we will have a 40 meter antenna that y'all have to cut. Because I will get it built in time. I've cut the wire, I just haven't built it. Because that's what we were supposed to have had out there, but somebody misunderstood the instructions. And showed up with another 20 meter antenna, which we have as a giveaway tonight as well. So if you win the Nano VNA and the antenna, you'll be able to go home and have you a great little 20 meter antenna. So that is all I've got. Yeah.
Is there a certain gauge wire or a certain kind of wire stuff works better than others, holds up better than others? What do you normally use?
I'll give you my answer. Doesn't matter. Don't matter. That's a common question. It's how much power are you running? It doesn't matter. It's that wire. I mean, what I run for POTA is a 24, 26 gauge wire, and I'll feed 100 watts through it and not think about it. I mean, you look at the temperature rating on that thing. If your wire is getting hot, you got problems anyways. But the current that's running through that wire, it's fine. I mean, you're going to lose some efficiency based on the velocity factor, and that's going to vary with the gauge of wire, but for what we're using, it's minimal. So if you're a permanent antenna at home, again, this is my personal opinion, not backed by science, backed by this is what I've done. 14, 16 gauge at the house, just because you don't want it tearing and stretching, because even a 14, 16 gauge wire, it's up in that tree, it's heating, expanding, contracting. Birds are sitting on it. Small branches are falling on it. So it's going to have some stretch in it. So you put a 22, 24, 26 gauge wire like I use for POTA out there, it's not going to last. It's going to not stretch. It's going to break. But again, for my 2 antennas I have at the house, I think are 16 gauge wire. I've got an in-fed and an off-center fed at the house. And then I need to increase the size of my wire for my POTA antennas, because right now it's 26 gauge and it's broken twice. It's telling me something. So yeah, I am not an expert. I'm just a lowly general who spent a lot of time on YouTube and have built an antenna or two. So, and got finagled into being up here again. So if you've got any questions, ask them. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you, and somebody here, I promise you, especially the new extras, will know the answer. Yeah.
You want stranded and flexible if you're going to go with any POTA stuff, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, and it is, yeah, I mean, you start trying to wrap up some 14, 16 gauge wire around your thumbs, so that you, and figure 8 it so that it doesn't turn into a rat's nest when you rush to your next part. Light gauge, flexible wire really is helpful. Anybody else want me to lie to them? All right, thank y'all.
Thanks, Dennis. All right, just to go around the room real quick, lie on what we've been doing. I'm Philip, W4PHC, and let's see, I've done some METs. We got to do I did go out there and watch Jess and Colin run back and forth on that 80 meter. And that caused me to eat more donuts. And we've been working P2P and testing within some of us around in the club. If you haven't tried it, it's been great. And let's see, what else have I got into? I don't remember, so it wasn't too important. And doing POTA hunting. I hadn't been to the parks. Claude's going to get after me. But, okay, our new extra. Go ahead, Kevin.
Kevin, KR4BDR, had a good time up the park. A lot of rag chewing, and thanks, Chris, for the advice on the 10-volt direct on the coals, because we didn't know what we were going to do with that grill. It's that much higher than the coals. Real great. Thanks to Colin, got me my first POTA contact. Gentleman in Illinois on what, 11% power?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot higher than that. But it wasn't.
Hey, I think you are. I think he was trying to trick me there.
11 watts and cheating.
It was detuned power, because I think you were trying to.
We weren't fully utilizing that new dipole we just got. So.
Warm
it up, right?
Yeah.
Besides that, just studying for the exam today, and there's a lot of brownies and donuts I expect y'all to get before y'all leave here tonight.
There's not a lot of brownies.
There's a whole other box in the bag right there, buddy. We got more.
I didn't know about those.
I didn't either. Yes.
I'm Jess, N4J88 for the few of you in this room that I haven't met. I just gave the crappy presentation about tuning antennas. Since the last meeting, I have enjoyed delicious barbecue, delicious hamburgers, half-burnt hot dogs, good Publix donuts, I hate to admit. Was out there for the tuning of the antennas, have been trying to get back into POTA activation, and am very much looking forward to Georgia POTA this weekend and Georgia QSO party the following weekend.
James, KF4AQO. Been chasing some POTA. I called the Skywarn net yesterday. Appreciate those of you that checked in. I've been kind of swapping out either net control or alternate net control on Thursday night net. I'm always logging, so if I seem like I don't know what I'm doing, I'm trying to log and type and everything else like that. KF4OS tonight did some P2P. Vara, not yet done yet. I got my Winlink working for about 30 minutes. And I did answer a lot of QSL cards that people sent us for N1D, for Wicked for Halloween, and a couple for Winter Field Day. So they're all sent out. That's it. Questions? Oh, while I'm talking, tonight's VE session, everybody that took a test asked something. Our newest, youngest Ham got his tech. And then you've already heard that this gentleman over here walked in with tech, walking out with extra. And I think the other guys that went there and something had to leave. So had 100% tonight. 5 people took the test, and 6 people got licenses. Because one guy got 2. Well, he paid the extra money.
All right, everything I did was photo. Anybody not know what parks on there is, you don't want to hear about it today. Everybody else is tired. Went to Eufaula National Wildlife Refuge. That was number 325 in the state of Georgia. So I got all of them again. Did 20 activations since last meeting. I got an award for 2,500 hunters. And I was on a live stream podcast last Wednesday with the King, K-E-8-P-Z-N, James Mond. And you can see that. I think I sent it out to the email list. If you didn't, you really don't need to watch. Bob watched it though.
It was good.
It was good. You need to watch it.
And April 5th and 6th, next Saturday and Sunday, thanks for saying that, Jess. Georgia State Parks are there and really involved with that. And there'll be somebody at every park out of the 52 parks on Saturday or Sunday next weekend. So if you can't go to the park and activate, please. We like to talk to people we know.
Chris.
I'm Chris, N5TOI, the club treasurer. Like several other folks, I spent some time watching those young guys cut the antenna and consuming barbecue and hamburger. It's good. Don't know that I've done a whole lot, just morning drive time since the last meeting. I do plan on activating Providence Canyon this coming weekend, and then also take a 45-minute trip south to Georgia back. Be down there Saturday, so hopefully we'll hear some of y'all on the air.
Be in the canyon or on from the edge?
Well, I think probably on the edge instead of down.
So no challenge.
Slopping around in the mud at the bottom of the train with the radio just doesn't sound good. Dragging the battery behind you.
I'm Bob, KE4JLL. I did the antenna tuning party too, and participated in the statewide P2P, peer-to-peer communications drill last weekend, one of those weekends. A couple of weather nets and state areas meetings.
Oh yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bill, KK4PGD, and I've been doing sort of photo since last week. I did not make the antenna cutting, but that's because that was the last day for the bonus points on soda. So get another mountain.
Yeah.
Okay. Just got my license tonight, and I would like to get general, maybe sometime, and
We tested June.
huh?
We tested June.
Yeah. I don't know if I go for extra at all.
Oh yeah, you will.
Sure.
Maybe. I don't know. But I might be helping with the Marigold, Winter Marigold Festival. And,
Doing a lot of studying.
yeah.
Charles Henry, KQ4EHY. It's been a while since I've been here. I set up a mobile rig, permanent, like a desktop at the house. And did my first peer-to-peer WinLink the other night with Jess, we checked in. And encouraging this young man, and I got another grandson that's studying. So, yeah, that's about it.
Good.
I'm Tom Harden, K9EDD, and I also participated in the event where some people worked on the antennas.
Where did you get originally licensed?
Wisconsin.
That's where I'm from, originally. And down here in football. $12 dollars.
Well, I'm still trying to find my way around from point to point in this area. But I've been working on my shack, trying to get it back to close to where it was in Wisconsin. Doing a little bit of, is it hunting or chasing? Either one.
Hunting.
In my spare time. Good.
Scott?
Scott, been studying for the tech exam and quit doing that as of tonight. I'm gonna go buy stuff.
Keep it in your trunk for a week or two, so when your wife sees it, oh, sweetheart, I've had that.
It's got dust on it.
Yeah.
For $15, I will write you a receipt that you told your wife you paid for.
It's easy to get forgiveness and permission.
Yeah.
I'm next, WW9HIF. I spent a lot of my time at around midnight to 2 in the morning on 75 meters, so that's, you can find some interesting people there. Go ahead.
All right. Colin, K04IZK. I guess since the last meeting, I did some antenna tuning. I did go out and get a couple new parks and that I hadn't done before up near Lake Burton. Talked to Claude at one of them there at Lake Burton.
Yeah.
I'm going to participate this weekend in the Georgia State Parks on the Air again, and probably the Georgia Keystone Party the next week. So,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm KA3YIA, and I've been trying to regain the CW skills I allegedly had once. And I joined the Long Island CW Club, and they have a lot of courses there for anybody interested in developing some CW skills, which I really find to be excellent. However, I was a lot better when I was a lot younger.
I'm Tom, KQ4TAB. I'm really doing photo hunting. And Claude, last week I passed 900 parks.
You got an award.
I enjoy that, so it's a lot of fun and learn a lot about propagation. And, the other thing, 2 weeks ago, I think the National Weather Service, they had that course.
Sky One.
Yeah, the Sky One, the Sky. So I attended that. This and that was very informative, and I enjoyed that. Just 2 meetings ago, Jess got up there and told us that YouTube for $25 can be.
I didn't lie.
Well, mine was an order of magnitude more. I got hooked into that, and it's been challenging. It's been a lot of fun getting these notes up, and I guess I'm pass message now with Jess and Richard. And yet to get one to Ross. I don't know who Ross is. Is he here?
Mm-hmm.
No, okay. But that's a lot of fun. It's fun stuff.
Does he charge you per message too?
Huh?
Does Jess charge you per message too?
No.
I gave him the AliExpress discount.
No, it's been fun. We were experimenting with different channels and these things hanging up with pine trees out in the yard. Good.
I'm Bruce, KX4AZ. Mostly I've just been buying a lot of cheap electronic toys from AliExpress recently. And I bought I can't believe it, but I bought a third Quansheng HT from them the other day because it was like $18 with free shipping. I had to get a third one, who knows why, but I got it. I bought a couple of mesh tastic boards too from AliExpress, and I happened to catch a really good sale where I got 2 of the boards for about $30, including tax and shipping. And that was going down, just trying to muddle my way through, and I haven't put it up in a tree yet, so I'm only usually hitting K1JRA, I guess, in the west side of town.
Right.
But it is an interesting thing, this mesh casting, and I was saying to somebody this, the cool thing is that being an ISM band, it's all in license, so no matter how much you screw up, nobody can, FCC can't show up at your door and say you're messing up or something. It's interesting.
So we put it in your neighbor's tree.
Okay, Tom, K4THB. Got Bruce to come over with his VNA the other day and look at my vertical antenna, and I do appreciate it. He determined I did not need to tune it anymore, so leaving it alone. The only other thing I've done is chase a little photo in between doctor's visits, so we're still working though. Right.
Hi, I'm Angel. I'm not licensed yet, I'm still studying. I listen to the net, I turn my radio on every night and listen to whoever's talking. I hear mostly every night or sometime. The other night, I got some good information on touch a truck for the kids in the pony, and I heard it from somebody talking in the group that the GSP helicopter went over there. Athens Mobile Command Center truck was over there. The kids had fun. I took my grandson. It was cool. But I listen to y'all. I hear y'all when y'all talking.
June, you got a test.
You too?
Okay.
Oh, you said okay?
I said okay. I'm gonna try again in June.
In for ZRA, I worked the hospital net last month, the Skywarn, checked into the regular nets and took part in the Oxcom net. I'm the AEC for Clark County areas for hospitals and public health.
I'm Al, AF5ACL. I really haven't done anything worth writing home about. I have Mestastic and SDR Play on my desk, and I'm trying to get my main computer upgraded to Windows 12, which is making me lose my religion at times. That's about it for me.
I'm Richard, KR4OS, like a little Mestastic.
A little?
And checked into the Aries peer-to-peer net the other day. About it.
I'm George, KZ4GRK. I've been playing radio about almost a year and a half. I'm a local gypsy monkey out here. I go from club to club, climbing trees and fibers of trees or telephone poles or whatever. Stringing lines and buying electronic gadgets that are over my head and then trying to find somebody to help figure them out for me.
I'm Andy, KQ4BBW, and I've just been chit-chatting on 2-meter. I did purchase a 710, so I'm kind of trying to get the jack put together. We'll see how it goes. I'm not even waiting to go in, Bill goes to jail. Everybody else does it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my name's Garrett Bentley, K4SAU. I haven't been doing a lot of radioing, mostly been supporting the missus and trying to get her ladies group excited and trying to get them to attend some of these training sessions that have been up in Elton and around town. Trying to get some of these gals to get their ticket and get them involved in a lot of the marginal success.
Keep plugging, Derek.
Yeah.
All right. The minutes were posted on the group's IO. I hope everybody had a chance to glance over them. Derek got them uploaded. Anybody do a motion to approve as written?
Motion to approve.
Second? Okay. All right. Our upcoming events. The one everybody needs to do, April 5th through 6th, POTA. And like Claude said, if you don't go out to the parks, see how many parks you can hunt. And don't think you've talked to that person already, because a lot of operators will do multiple parks. So go out there and see how many you can get. April 26th, our N1D, number 1 dogs, will be at the North Lawn at the Tate Center. So we'll be putting more details out on that. There's a sign up section on the website. So don't forget, because there's free parking. We'll make sure there's parking for you, and it's always a good time. And then May 10th, the Miracle 10K. We've been asked again to help that. Bob will be putting something out on that before long when we get more details. And it's fun. Have a lot of good times. Only other thing is it's out there, but we've been asked to help Colbert with the 4th of July parade again, which is super good. I'll go to a meeting on the 24th of April, and as soon as I get information, I'll get that to Bob. And they really appreciated it. And then that's how we got the park for field day at no cost for the weekend. So that's
which is the 28th of June.
Yes. And that's the last weekend. And right now, tentatively on that Saturday, Hal is going to bring out the Clark County Mobile Com van to our field days. So we're trying to get folks in the community interested, and we have some interest out there with the firemen and some of the folks that in Bill's class right now actually live in Colbert. So I don't think we got anything else. All right, anybody got anything they want to bring up?
What's going on with Repeater?
Repeater. We're going to rob Paul to pay Peter. Something's going on with the 330. It's not transmitting like it should. It receives fine. I went out there this past Saturday. Everything looked good. Tom was out there with me. I'm going to reprogram the club spare Midland and get it out there and then see what happens. Some of us are leaning toward the finals in the Bridgecom repeater. We'll see. I want to try to check with Ron up in Gainesville and see if he can have some time to come down with his magic and just check it over. But one of those things. The antenna, coax, all that out at Vaughn Road is in good shape. Just don't.
Low power.
Mm-hmm. Culver's on the air. It's doing pretty good. The 440's up and had no more problems out of it. It's actually a little bit stronger out there since Ron did a full maintenance on it and replaced the caps. So we're still in good shape on that. Colin's taking care of summer field day for us. He's got a wish list that I'll put out. If we want to try to do any of the extra equipment, it's going to be donations from all the club members to try to find the funding to add extra equipment, because we may have to have the Bridgecom sent off to be repaired. But we've got to do some checking first. So if anything comes up or it goes down, be aware we've got access to the Watkinsville repeater through this Jeff's and Ed's, and then we got Colbert. So, and then we'll try to get that Midland. I'm going to try to put it in Saturday if I can get finished in time. So, anything else?
What was the final decision on this? What is 7100, 7300? The icon in one of the boxes.
We got Claude took it up to Paul up there.
Yeah, but
and he could not find anything
right.
wrong.
And so we decided just to leave it alone, right?
Yes.
Okay.
we paid his service charge. We actually used it out there at the park when we cut the antennas. I've gone through the box and checked any kind of jumper that's in the box. Everything tests good. So hopefully it was a fluke. It doesn't make sense, but
Well, all the other equipment that was out there, and, I mean, who knows what jumpers were in line, if it was even our jumpers that were being used. I mean, it's a whole lot of different things that could have been the cause of what we were seeing out there, but
I mean, it worked good out at the park, and I've used it out at the house a couple of times, and I've not had that problem come back up.
Good.
Matter of fact, I got to get it back in the jump box. Okay, anything else?
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, y'all feel free to hop over to that Watkinsville repeater and say hey once in a while. It gets a little lonely over there.
I'll do some shameless plugging for a couple of things that the club does have, and that is the morning drive time, normally on 3:30. Kind of been meandering over to 7:45 as of late, as 3:30 is going down. The Slack app that we've got, you hear a lot of terms thrown around in here, POTA, Meshtastic. We've got kind of sub-channels in Slack dedicated to those to try to take some of the traffic off of the listserv. So you can subscribe to Slack and just subscribe to the channels you're interested in, be it POTA, weekend events, Swap Shop, Meshtastic, whatever. A lot of exchange of information goes on there that doesn't make it to the listserv, and a lot of knowledgeable people on there. If you've got a quick question to ask, a lot of knowledgeable people on there to respond back to any questions you've got, and I guess that's all I've got.
And then the AriesNet on Thursday night. It's a regular. If you're interested and want to be a net control or an alternate, you can sign up off the website. And then we're trying to expand a little bit on our WinLink. It has been, Jess has been getting it through WinLink, either Telnet or with the forums. So we're trying with the HF and the P2P so we can expand our knowledge and being able to have something else in the toolbox. So
there's a WinLink channel on Slack too.
Yep.
Oh, there is?
And if you want to get into that part of it, just put something in there, and between us, we'll find somebody to set the radios up, and we'll troubleshoot with you, see how it works. It's not a problem. All right. Anything else? Well, we got 2 giveaways tonight.
I thought we had 3 because that box back there.
You didn't buy it, yeah.
I don't think Claude will let us just raffle that box. All right. We got Nano NA. Nanos. You want me to call out the number, Chris?
Yeah.
9770.
That ain't it.
No, that's the wrong number. It's 97.
Derek back here.
It was close to the right number, but not quite. Holy cow.
And we got a second.
Yep.
We have 30.
Mystery gift.
$9768.
What did I win? It better not be my goddamn antenna.
You got it.
No.
No, you got the ARRL.
You got an ARRL.
Are we giving away an antenna too? Are we giving away an antenna?
I think it's going with the VNA.
Okay. All right.
Here you go, Derek.
I'll tune that rascal out. Big loser.
That's my ticket.
I don't want it. No.
I want you to go home and win.
Check it out.
Now, this didn't come from AliExpress.
I don't want
Is that the mystery gift? It's a snow globe.
It's a box with styrofoam.